Hello, I'm Ignacio Grifol, and I'm here with the heavyweight headhunter, the ruler, and the furious emoji, Eran Ashe. Hello, how are you?
Very good. Nice to meet you.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Well, I'm gonna start with the most basic question. Can you tell me your early memories about pro wrestling?
It's kind of hard. So when I think about pro wrestling, I don't have that many memories. It was just kind of always around me. Like I remember when I was a little kid, I had a Bret Hart action figure, and I'm not even sure if I knew he was a wrestler. I just gravitated towards the action figure. But probably my earliest memories of actively watching wrestling was probably around 2006, like right after WrestleMania 21.
Oh.
So those are probably my earliest memories.
Well, my first memories is 2007.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, Undertaker and Batista and Edge.
That was definitely a good time.
Yes, it was a very good time. Well, you started your train with combat zone wrestling. Can you tell me why did you decide to become a pro wrestler?
I think I've always, when I talk to my mother, she always says, "Oh, you said you wanted to be a pro wrestler for the longest time ever." And I didn't really remember, but it was probably around 2017, I decided to actually go for it. So that's when I started my training.
Oh, that's great. And what did you learn on the combat zone?
Essentially everything. Combat zone training, it's not like a lot of other places, you know. Learning the in-ring of wrestling is not, I wouldn't say it's easy, but you could teach anybody how to wrestle. The hardest part of the wrestling business is teaching everyone else all the other things you need to know. In-ring psychology, how to be a professional, how to manage yourself in this business once you learn how to wrestle. So those are probably the most important things I've learned.
Yeah, great. Also, you won the Medal of Valor twice, right?
Yes. Technically, I'm still the champion because it was retired.
Yeah.
So, yes, but I did win it twice.
Yeah. Also, I have seen that one of your trainers was Jimmy Rave, right? That he sadly passed away a few years ago. What can you tell me about him?
Jimmy was always great. He never minded taking his time out to give you advice on anything you needed. He was really hands-on, especially, you know, when all of us started getting out there, he would vouch for us, you know, try to get us to good places to wrestle. Yeah. So he was always there to help anybody who needed help.
Yeah. Also, he was a very beloved person, right?
Very much.
Wow, right. I want to talk about your character since you are a heavyweight. And can you tell me about the heavyweight headhunter and the furious emoji?
So essentially, the heavyweight headhunter is an individual who feels like he's been passed up unnecessarily. You know, when you look at the scope of the wrestling business, first off, the thing that grabs your attention is people's looks, right? And then through time, you see if they have everything else. Well, as someone who not only has a look, but has everything else, a heavyweight headhunter feels like he hasn't gotten his respect. So to counter that, now I'm going to hunt all the people you say are better than me. I'm going to show you that I'm better, and I'm going to take their heads off.
Great. Also, it looks like in the 80s, it was like the land of giants, WWE, Hulk Hogan, Andre, the Ultimate Warrior. Now it's like smaller wrestlers, more athletic. Do you think that with time, the heavyweights can take their place in the wrestling world?
Well, I think the heavyweights are still doing their things out there. You know, you got a lot of large guys who can really go that are still doing their thing. So we haven't left, you know, it's just a transition.
Yeah.
Like that, even with the smaller athletic guys, like they're just as big and athletic guys too. So it's not really the size, it's more of what you can do in the ring.
Yeah. Also, like 5 years ago, we have the pandemic, the COVID, and the independent circuit suffered a lot. And combat zone wrestling closed, and they began to make the shows again. What can you tell me about your time in the promotion during the pandemic?
The pandemic was really hard, not only because we couldn't put on shows, but it was just kind of uncertain. So like right before the pandemic hit, a lot of our top people, you know, they got signed to either WWE or AEW.
Yeah.
So not only did the world have to shut down, but there was a loss of talent. So essentially, all of the guys left over who were students at the time, during that whole time, you know, when we were allowed to start doing little by little things, we all just started training harder, getting ourselves prepared, because we knew somebody had to come up next and start taking the reins. So that's what we all did.
Yeah. One of that wrestlers was Joey Gacy, right? That now works in NXT.
Yep, absolutely.
Yes, he was also one of your trainers, right?
Yes.
And what can you tell me about him?
Joe was great because he gave us a different perspective. I'd say maybe he's like closer to our age. So when we started breaking things down in the ring, it made a little more sense because it was coming from somebody who's closer to us instead of, you know, being maybe 10, 15 years older. So it was a little easier to digest sometimes.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Also, can you tell me about your tag team partner, Troy Parker?
Troy Parker, let's see. He hits hard.
Yeah. He's also a heavyweight.
Absolutely. I'm a little further down in my career than he is. I think I have a couple years on in terms of experience. So when we're tagging together, I'm just trying to impart the things that I already know that he may not know, you know, just trying to help him along the way.
Yeah.
Especially like the big brother.
Yeah. Also, there is maybe like the tag team gold in the future.
You know, I would never say never, but, you know, right now I'm focused on being the world champ.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, congratulations, because recently you defeated Rich Swann for the Combat Zone Wrestling World Heavyweight Championship. How do you feel when you won the title?
It felt satisfying for the, you know, when you look back at the story I'm doing in CZW, you'll say, oh, well, he's been chasing the championship for 2 years. No, it's been the entire 7 years of my wrestling career.
Yeah.
You know, when I walked in the doors, I said, I want to be a world heavyweight champion. That was the goal.
Yeah.
It took me 7 years, but I finally accomplished what I wanted to do. And not only did I do it, but I got to wrestle somebody like Rich, who's been all over the world. Yeah. He's a household name. And I can say that I was able to beat him. So
yeah,
that's definitely satisfying.
That's great. Also, you have worked in Europe, because Combat Zone Wrestling take like a tour, and also you worked in England, Germany. What can you tell me about the crowd? Because people have said that the European people is like crazier than the American.
The European crowds are definitely amazing. One is because I feel like they don't have as much wrestling as we have in the U.S. So once they get it, they're a lot more grateful of the things they get to see.
Yeah.
And then in turn, that just means their spirits are up. They want to see more. Their energy is higher. So I definitely always love wrestling in front of European crowds.
Great. And what could you tell me about your match in Germany with WXW?
That was a really good match. I got to face one of their up and coming students, and you know, I was kind of looking to test myself, test him, you know, see how their training compares to our training, and I can say factually that they're definitely doing well over there.
Right. Also, well, Combat Zone Wrestling years ago was like the ultra-violent promotion, but now looks like Game Change Wrestling. took the place as the deathmatch promotion. What do you think?
Well, I mean, CZW does still do a couple of ultra-violent events like Tournament of Death, but we've been focusing a lot more on a story-driven in-ring wrestling product.
Yeah.
So that's probably going to be our lane for the upcoming future, but just because we don't do a lot doesn't mean we still can't do it. So, you never know what you might see from us.
Oh, good. Also, I want to ask, what's next for you? Because you have recently started your title reign. So what's next?
What is next? Well, I can tell you this. I will have that world championship for a very long time. It took me 7 years to get it, so I'm not giving it up without a fight. And if you've ever seen anybody try to fight me, they don't win. So I'm just, at this point, I'm going to assert my dominance over the wrestling world like it should have been from the beginning, essentially.
Right. And what can you tell me about the future events and tournaments from Combat Zone?
The future is looking up for the Combat Zone. This Saturday, we have Best of the Best coming up. We got stars like Kenta, coming all the way from Japan to participate. We're starting to run more events in Philadelphia. We recently did Love Park. We have a few more events coming up. So we're starting to expand back. The pandemic took us down, so it took us a little bit of time to rebuild, but we're coming back, and we're coming back hard.
Okay, great. And the last question, there is any kind of dream match you have, like, I want to face this wrestler so mad?
I don't know if you can see my sweatshirt right now, but this is Minoru Suzuki pile driving someone.
Oh, Suzuki, yeah.
So I'm gonna put that into existence. If I can get him to wrestle me anywhere, anytime, I'll definitely take it.
Oh, that's great. A very dangerous choice.
Absolutely. I like testing myself in the ring. Yes. And who better to test yourself against?
Are you a fan of the Japanese style?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
As you can tell, I like to hit very hard, and I like to get hit very hard. So yeah, I'm definitely a fan of the Japanese strong style.
Yeah. Also, you have a very unique finisher, like a vertical suplex with a powerbomb, right?
Yes. That's actually a move from Kenta Kobashi, the Orange Crush.
Yeah.
So I was watching one of his matches, and I saw him pull that out. I was like, I wonder if I could do that. So practiced it, and now I've got it down.
Oh, that's great. That's great. And what do you think about the deathmatch wrestling, the hardcore and violent wrestling? Did you see having this kind of matches?
I can see having a death match, but I'm not the type to watch death matches or, want to do it often. If it makes sense for a particular point in my career, I'll definitely do it, but it's not something I would do regularly. Yeah. But I've got a lot of respect for the guys who go out there and do it, because I'm not sure. I'm not doing it.
Okay. Well, that's all the question I have. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. It was great to be interviewed.
Yes. Can you give some, I don't know, say hello to your fans in Spain?
Hello to all my fans in Spain. It's been a long time since I've been to Spain. It's probably over a decade, but I can't wait to come back, and hopefully I'll be in a wrestling ring.
Wow. You were in Spain when?
Is actually it was my last high school trip.
Oh.
So I believe we were in the central part of Spain, and then we went further south. So I visited places like Granada.
Oh.
Just going down the line to the coast. Then we ventured down past Spain to Morocco. So it was a good time. A lot of good memories.
Oh, did you like Granada?
Absolutely. All of Spain was beautiful.
Oh,
and the weather was great too.
That's great. That's great. Well, I'm glad that you like it.
I can't wait to go back, actually.
Maybe in the future you can wrestle in Spain. I don't know.
Sounds good to me. Gotta check out some places over there.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for your time.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.